Hello, everybody. Today, my word of choice is uncertainty. Now, how does the dictionary define uncertainty? Uncertainty is defined as a state of having limited or imperfect information about future outcomes, current situations, or exact measurements. Now, I don't know about you, but uncertainty is horrible. In fact, I do believe we live in this state of life where we are always trying to ensure that we do not experience uncertainty. So you try and get a job so that you can have enough money so you don't have uncertainty. You try and get a family so you ensure that you have your lineage and you have a community around you. You try to do this so that you have good health. We're always in a constant state of trying to ensure that our life does not experience any uncertainty. And I think that's why we look up to people who have wealth or success, because we imagine that when we attain this success of or wealth, that we will never in our lives experience uncertainty, yet there is no such thing. Life is at its core uncertain, whether we are aware of it or we are not aware of it. I do realize that there are certain seasons where the uncertainty is so glaring, situations where you're going through a health crisis, or maybe a child is behaving in a certain way, or maybe a job is at risk. Those are moments where it feels like uncertainty is amplified. But when you really think about it, which one of us is sure that we are going to see tomorrow? There's this idea that we can outrun, that we can outbeat uncertainty. And so we really dislike uncertainty because uncertainty makes us, I think, feel vulnerable, and it makes you realize that you actually have no control beyond the things that you can do in your now. You actually have no control, and I've struggled with uncertainty a lot. I think that's something that God has dealt with me, is coming to the realization that it is a state of existence, and it's a state of existence that those of us who are saved should not find ourselves worrying or struggling with uncertainty, because if we really believe God and we trust that God is in control of our lives, then why should uncertainty be this thing that we are constantly fighting against? We keep trying to outplay uncertainty in our lives instead of just sitting in it and being okay with it. Because when you think about the definition of faith in Hebrews 11:1, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It almost talks about what we are supposed to do in uncertainty. It talks about imagining things in this state that we do not have, or in this state where you're not sure about tomorrow. You're supposed to use your faith. And I do believe that we should not shun uncertainty. We should not be scared of uncertainty. We should embrace it, because we have a God who is bigger than anything, a God who even dares us to imagine and speak things into existence that are not even in existence. So I dare you to look at faith, not faith, I dare you to look at uncertainty with a different approach. Faith is uncertainty is an opportunity to use your faith. It's an opportunity to rely heavily on God, like we should always be doing in our lives.